All right, hello everyone. We are back live. Apologize for the inconvenience. I had a little more confidence in the mobile internet in Wisconsin, and it let me down a bit. But I'm guessing everything's working now. Oh, there we go.
Did we figure it out? Are you sober?
We figured out that we're going to sit still as long as we have
Okay.
a good
It's
stream.
such a shame because we've been on this call for 15 minutes and total fine as soon as we begin.
Oh, yes. Well,
It's
of
always the
course.
way it goes.
So,
Always. Always.
Thank you
Stacy,
for coming
you
back.
are the founder of Steel Toe Communications, and
Mhm.
you're on my show. Why are you on my show? That's the question. What brings you to this industry here?
Well, you wanted to talk about social media marketing. What brings me to this industry, I kind of fell into it when I was going to school for marketing back in Philadelphia at Temple University many years ago. A construction company called KC Construction out of Warminster, Pennsylvania hired me, and they were super awesome to work with. I knew nothing about the industry at the time. And I was getting my degree, and she allowed me to work full time while I took night classes down at Temple. And I did pretty much all of my marketing projects on her company. And we grew her company the 3.5 years I was there. I still keep in touch with them to this day. And then I um, transferred to the DC area and I worked for a mechanical contractor for about 12 years. So, and I just grew to love, the building industry. The people are amazing in this industry, and it's very much a team environment and everybody supports each other. So, I've noticed that on the marketing side, because I concentrate in commercial marketing, there's a lot of smaller commercial businesses that need help with marketing. They either can't afford to hire someone full time, or their marketing roles, it's also project management, business development, HR, and they just can't tackle everything. And now that we've moved to digital marketing in the last 20 years, there's just so much and they're so behind and they just, need that help. So there's been companies like mine that are popping up to help the commercial contracting industry because it's changed so much.
This is really getting frustrating. Oh, Stacy, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, great. Um, so interesting how you got into the industry, and we all know our industry may be behind the times in some aspects. Um,
Hmm.
so, as someone who's a proponent of digital marketing, why is it important? Like a contractor even care about a contractor or building material supplier care about social media or digital marketing?
Well, we have to think about, one of the biggest issues that we have is workforce development and recruiting people into this industry. And now we have everybody aging out, the people that maybe did not enter this industry or grow up on technology, but the workforce is changing rapidly and the way we communicate is completely different than how we used to communicate. So whether it's text, receiving a text message, an email, live like today, just communicating on social media, you have to get on board. It's not just in person networking now and building relationships that way. So, I mean, if you're not online, it's almost like you don't exist. So it's pretty important.
It's so true, and I think what gets underestimated because generally of the decision makers fall on that line between maybe I wasn't digital native, maybe I grew up without that tech. I don't think they recognize the power of it,
Hmm.
and they probably don't recognize that every new entrant to the market from a 18-year-old and up is beyond digital native. That's communicate, and
Right.
if you want to communicate with them, the easiest way to reach them is digitally.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
all right, you walk in and you convince a framing contractor to say you need to be digital, and they're
Hmm.
like, "All right, sounds great. Digital what?" So like
Yeah.
what's someone supposed to do? What are some very easy to implement best practices that can have immediate impact for a contractor?
So first I would start at, you have to make a decision on your resources. So who has the time in your organization to be consistent when you do pick a digital marketing channel, whether it's, you know, LinkedIn or Twitter or whatever social channel, or maintain your company website. So figure out first how, what you're going to be maintaining on your website, and then which channels you can actually afford to maintain and post and give that to someone, or you outsource it. But I think you have to start there first before you decide that you're going to make the leap and do some digital marketing, because it's not going to be successful if you're not consistent, and you
Correct.
have to be in the game long term. There's no easy, like, oh, I did 3 posts on LinkedIn and no one's picking up the phone and calling me. Like, that's not the strategy for digital marketing. It's repeat advertising over and over and over a long period of time while people get to know you and trust you, become familiar with your company and the people that work there and your culture. Then they start feeling comfortable and making the decision whether or not they want to do work with you after they see and learn about the projects that you do and your performance, or whether they want to actually work for your company. So I would start there.
Yeah, there's no doubt. Even today, if I'm interacting with a company, like I'm going to interact with you. The first thing I did was I found you on LinkedIn, and then I went to your website,
Hmm.
and within 4 or 5 minutes, I had a pretty idea of what was going on. At least I knew enough to even ask the right questions to find out more about you.
Hmm.
Um, so you can only imagine if you have a prospective employee who's 25 years old, they're going to check you out. They want to know, what you have going on. So you're correct, being consistent and being clear in your message.
Yes, I hear from a lot of people in the building industry, we've survived all this time because of the relationships that we built, and we don't need digital marketing to, but I really strongly don't believe that, because things are changing and they change all the time. And just like you said, if you don't have a presence, and especially now with the great resignation, everyone's competing for, workers, so they're going to make those decisions and they're going to do their research and learn about your company. And if they can't find anything on your company, they're going to go work for your competition.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So if you were talking about where to start, it would make sure you have your website, your online brochure. And then, if you don't have that many resources, just pick one social media platform and master it and stick with it and be consistent with it.
So let's touch on the workforce, and because as a company, especially a contracting company, you have to market the labor. You have to market to the people that are going to come work for you. So what have you seen as um, companies that well, and what are the results that they get with it?
Yeah. So there's this one company out in the UK. The name of his company is called Asheville Aggregates. He I can't really speak for him, but it looks like the majority of his marketing budget he invested into YouTube over, I think he started in like 2014.
Okay.
And so again, long-term strategy, but it has taken off for him. And you should definitely check it out. Asheville Aggregates. So we're talking about, I think it's concrete, aggregates, wastewater. So things that sound like boring topics, but him and his videographer do such an excellent job at describing their day-to-day struggles, activities, being transparent with their clients. Um, and it's a weekly show that, I think that instead of just saying, showcasing or talking about your values and being transparent with your customers, he shows it on his weekly episodes, and it draws so many people in, and he has this audience now, like 300,000. I'm sure he doesn't have any problem recruiting people to come work at his organization. It's great brand awareness. So it looks like his strategy was, YouTube was working for him, and that's, what he chooses to do. That's what I'm saying. Like, if you're good at something, like examine the resources that you have in house. If you have someone that's great at video, which he did, he had a buddy. Um, he went all for YouTube, and he's doing an amazing at that. Um,
I think that's really an interesting point about being transparent about your business. Um, Look, if you want to hire someone to work at McDonald's, everyone pretty much knows what it's like to work at McDonald's because we can
mhm,
sit there and see it. But if you want to hire someone to be on your construction framing crew, putting wall panels together and building a multifamily project, I mean, I don't even know exactly what the day in the life of a framer is, but
mhm.
maybe, you show that and it could be really appealing to a certain worker.
Yeah, day in the life videos are huge for the building industry. We did one way back when we had an intern, two interns actually shoot it. It was one of their intern projects, and it got hundreds of thousands of views. And it was a day of in the life of an HVAC tech. And I think, if you read the comments, like people appreciated that women were incorporated, that it was a learning experience for the interns, that we actually learned what our HVAC tech did, what he woke up at 5:30 and started his day and ended it at 3, and all the job sites he got to go on. And it was a really cool experience. It was pretty low budget, and it performed really well. And it also drove people to the mechanical contractors website to apply and figure out, get a sense of their corporate company culture, which was really cool too.
Yeah,
So,
our industry gets a bad rap. It is such a rewarding industry. My dad was in construction, and to this day, he'll be driving down the road and be like, "I built that building," or "Remember when we
mhm,
did this?" So I think when you highlight some of that video, and the thing I've learned about videos, obviously today we had some challenges, or I'm shooting this from the cab of our truck. The the production quality doesn't necessarily have to be top notch, but the content, like what are you showing them, has to be relevant.
correct. Yeah.
And if you can have a relevant topic that's timely, you're going to generate interest.
Yeah, and how to do that too is it's pretty easy. You can just start typing in keywords in your industry on YouTube or Google, and when that drop down comes down, that means the majority of the people are interested in that topic. So you want to answer the why. You want to answer, establish yourself as a thought leader. Like you're an expert at this particular trade or this industry, and these people have questions. So that's where you can start. If you wanted to do like a YouTube channel, just make sure you're answering and sharing best practices. That's people love to hear about that. And we talked about it earlier on our call yesterday about how much uh, training has changed. And we have a guy coming on our morning huddle show this Tuesday from Interplay Learning. And I met with them back in maybe 5, 6 years ago, and they've come such a long way. And what they're doing is they pretty much support apprenticeship programs. They're not accredited, I believe, yet, but it's virtual training for apprenticeship programs. So mechanical, HVAC, plumbing, and electricians. And you guys can, check it out Tuesday. He's doing a demonstration, but we were talking about online opportunities to learn. I mean, you could pretty much learn anything in college now on YouTube. I got my master's at an online college. So much has changed for digital. So,
Well, and
um,
it's not about just book learning online, but actual practical hands-on. I repair stuff on my truck that I watch people on YouTube repair.
mhm,
So in your organization, you can take some of your most experienced experts that are doing a task, record them, talk to them while they're doing that task, and then distribute it amongst your own employees.
yes. One of the challenges we have with video marketing is people don't want to be on camera, right? I didn't want to be for so long, and I got thrown into this show. Not your show, my show. And now I'm getting comfortable with it. It's just, practice. But if you don't want to be on camera, one of my buddies was telling me about this YouTube channel. What is it called? I think it's called Lock Picking Lawyer or something like that. It's a lawyer who his obsession was picking locks. So you just see his hands, and people send him challenges to a PO box address, and he just picks locks like live on his show. But there's like all different ways, and we're a hands-on. The building industry is very hands-on, so you can show a demonstration by just using your hands and having a voiceover or just talking, and you don't have to be on camera and still be very successful, and people will watch that.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. And then even, when we're talking about the building materials side, if you have a new product and you want to get it out to your customer base,
yep.
you can spend the time traveling around, or you can record one time and distribute it.
Yeah, for vendors or suppliers, you could also do unboxing videos are huge on YouTube,
Oh
and
yeah.
yeah, so that would be a great idea for them to get involved. I haven't really seen anything on that level, but, people wanna learn about your product and how to use it and what it does, and they wanna learn about it, and you can get the box, unbox it like a Christmas gift, and start talking about the product and how to handle it, or what the pipe does and how it's going to be installed in the field or things like that.
Excellent. All right, so these are some, pretty easy first entry kind of level. And look, everyone's organization is going to be different where you want to go with it. But where do you see moving forward from here? How do you see the social media or digital side of like what you're doing moving the industry?
So right now it's getting a little cluttered, right? So like for example, you have an electrical company, and then you have 100 other competitors, and you're all saying the same things, right? I provide we're the preferred contractor, we're top quality, we have the best safety. It's so hard to stand out from each other. So what I've been seeing that people are doing is they're adding an element of talent that is nothing to do with what they do to drive awareness to their organization. So, for example, the dental industry, there's this guy named Dr. Marashi who's out in California, and the dental industry is so highly competitive, like the building industry. There's before and after pictures of teeth. Same thing with building industry, before and after pictures of the work that you do, and that's kind of how you sell your quality. Well, what this dentist did is he decided he loves skateboarding. So he started doing skateboarding tricks in his office and videotaping them and putting them on his social media and out in his community. And then the internet deemed him the skateboarding dentist. So now he's not just your regular dentist with all the competition, he's the skateboarding dentist, and everybody remembers him. So it's different things like that. I think that we need to look outside of our industry and get ideas. A lot of contractors, they say, I want to do what my competition's doing. That doesn't do anything for you. Or I want to do what the GC's doing or my sub is doing locally. Like the least you could do is don't look locally. Look, across the US to some other contractors, see what they're doing. That's cool. And learn how to make it better. Or my best suggestion is to look outside of the industry and gain ideas and be
For
on the
sure.
forefront of your marketing. Take those risks and challenges. Marketing's very much an experiment. You have to keep trying things. You're going to have failures, you know, um, hopefully it won't cost your reputation. Usually it's just people weren't interested. But what I do tell people, when you do your marketing, the best way to be accountable for what you're doing is make sure that your marketing's either entertaining, informative, or inspiring. And if it's one of those, then you should post the content. If it's all three of those, then chances are like it's going to perform really well. So,
All right, so let's kind of recap here. The first thing is just do it
yes.
and go. Be consistent,
Mhm.
and and to do those two things, you need a champion. Get an internal champion. Um, just do it. Pick a channel, and I think have a goal. Be it. I I truly believe internal marketing in company is so much more important and overlooked.
Mhm.
Um, and that's a great way to really get the ball rolling before you take it to the masses.
Yeah.
Um, if Of course, you can get in touch with Stacy at Steel Toe Communications, and she can help you out. But there's many other companies that can also help you get going. But it's easy to do a lot of this on your own, and it's not expensive. I know internally at Materials Exchange, we never spend our marketing budget because we're using the channels like this, which are very low cost.
Mhm.
Um,
It's really a lot of it's just your time, the time, that you put together.
yeah, and it's kind of fun. I know we get to meet a lot of great people and have a lot of interesting conversations and be on the forefront of
Yeah.
what's going on out there. So we always wrap up the show with the question of what does Stacy see happening out there that if you talk about it at a cocktail party thinks you're crazy. Um, so what's your vision moving forward here?
Oh god, there's so many things I wanna do, but, my vision for my company, I'm working on it right now, but it's not out. So, I really wanna connect with parents and the younger younger, like middle school level to get them early involvement in the building industry, and one of the things my mom used to do, she had a Rolodex, an index cards of and this is back in the day before we had the internet, um, of, all these activities that you could do in the area, and she would just pull out these activities and give it to us, and we got to pick as kids where we wanted to go and check out, whether it was a museum or like a specific playground or something like that. I want to do something similar on my website, but it's just going to be STEM and architecture, engineering, and construction related for kids. But it's going
That's
to
great.
be nationally. So I need the help of any other organization. So for example, and the reason why I want to do this is because these smaller nonprofits, they don't have marketing. So it's hard to find. There's this heavy metal playground, it's called, near my house in Hagerstown, Maryland. And I just found out about them. And I've been in Maryland for like 12 years, and they're only right around the corner. And they have all of, I think it's geared towards like 7 or up, but it's for kids to come out and get on this construction equipment and learn it. They have safety courses, all this cool stuff. So my idea is for my website is to have this giant map of organizations like this. There's like Diggerland in New Jersey, and people can just come to my website, and if they're in the area, click on and go do like a STEM activity or visit some type of nonprofit that supports hands-on learning. So that's what I have in the works.
Well, my partner says you get into this industry either by accident, kind of like happened to you, or
Yeah.
you're born into it. And it's unfortunate that we just don't have the exposure that makes it a fun, sexy industry to get into. And it is. It's
Exactly.
great people. It's super fun, and it's so rewarding. I mean, the build environment really, I think, is absolutely so rewarding.
It's so impressive. Some of the buildings that I've gotten to see and tour, wow, like incredible. So,
And what I really believe is going to happen in the next 10 years or less, the way we build is going to evolve and change so dramatically that
yep.
number one, if you're not part of the change or seeing it, learning about it, you're going to get left behind
Mhm.
straight up.
Agreed.
So, anyway, Stacy, great. Thank you for, for working with our technical difficulties at the beginning. Um, you got to check her out Tuesdays at
Tuesdays at 9 a.m. Eastern Time, me and my buddy Chad Prinky from Well Built Consulting host a 30-minute show, and we interview tons of different people from architecture, engineering, and in the construction industry. So
Cool. And if they missed the show, I'm guessing it's going to be up on
Yeah,
YouTube.
it's on Spotify. It's called The Morning Huddle, and it's on YouTube too.
Awesome. All right, Stacy, thanks. Have a great
Thank you so
weekend.
much. Have a great day.
Everyone have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week.
See ya.
Bye bye.